Good afternoon. What is your name?
Philip Conklin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Conklin. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm Magistrate Garwood. I'm going to be handling your case today. This is case WCSD 22-89723. Tell me your full and complete name for the record with your middle name.
Philip Russell Conklin.
Thank you. And Mr. Conklin, you had a chance to speak with the public defender regarding representation, correct?
Very shortly, yes.
Okay. You'll have more time as your case proceeds. When you spoke with the public defender, it looks like you were unable to provide your contact information. Is that correct?
I do not have it. I'd have to have access to my cell phone.
Mr. Conklin, I will appoint the public defender to represent you for arraignment purposes today, and then you'll be referred to the local appointing authority for them to make investigation as to representation.
Jessica Blanche, appearing on behalf of people.
Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Mr. Conklin, and I did have the chance to meet with him. However, the complaint was not in the system yet at the time. If the court could read the allegations to him, please.
Certainly. Mr. Conklin, you have a 2-count complaint that I have before me. The complaint alleges that on or about November 5th of 2022 that you were at Lane, that's in Ypsilanti Township. Count 1 alleges that you did make an assault upon the intent to commit the crime of murder. Do you understand this first charge?
No, I don't. That's bullshit.
Okay, so I'm not asking if you agree or if you disagree with the charge. I'm asking if you understand that's what you've been charged with.
No, I don't. I don't understand.
You don't
that.
understand.
Nope.
Okay, so then we will go through that word by word and person by person. So count 1 alleges that you made an assault. An assault is when you put someone in fear of unwanted contact. So do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And so the people identified as who you put in fear of unwanted contact, there are 4 of them listed: Isaiah Stimmel, Ezekiel Stimmel, Zachary Stimmel, and Zoe Stimmel. So do you understand that it's alleged that you put those 4 people in fear of unwanted contact?
I guess yes.
Okay. And so the next part of this charge, it alleges that you did that with intent, or with the desire, the thought that you were going to accomplish the crime of murder, which would be to kill somebody. So you understand that?
No, I don't. You guys are fucking ridiculous.
Sir, do you understand what the charge is? Not do you agree with it, but do you understand what she
Sure,
said?
I do. Yeah, you guys are fucking out of your minds, though. And I'm the one out of my mind.
Okay. So the maximum penalty for that charge, it's a felony. It's life or any number of years. So do you understand that maximum penalty?
Yes.
Count 2 alleges that you did use, arrange, place, devise, or distribute a inflammable, combustible, or explosive material, liquid substance, or device in or near 8813 Tamarack Lane with the intent to commit arson of the property having a value of $20,000 or more. Do you understand count 2, preparation to burn property, $20,000 or more?
Yes.
That is a felony as well, with a maximum penalty 10 years in prison and or $15,000, or 3 times the value of the property intended to be burned, whichever is greater. Do you understand that maximum penalty?
Yes.
All right. We've gone through your rights. So with that, we'll proceed. Ms. Kleeman, would you like your client to stand mute?
Yes, please.
All right. So Mr. Conklin, I'll have you stand mute today. That means you'll remain silent as to the charges. I will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. I will schedule you for your next court date. That will be a probable cause conference in front of Judge Simpson. He will be able to see you November 17th. That will be at 9 a.m. or as soon thereafter as your case can be heard. So the next thing we need to address in this matter is bond, and there are 2 parts to bond. Bond conditions. Those are things the court tells you you can and cannot do. If you violate a bond condition, you're subject to immediate arrest. The other side of bond is whether you can be released today on your own personal recognizance or whether you have to post a bond in order to be released. Ms. Blanche, would the people like to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're welcome to proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're asking for a $50,000 surety bond in this case. Based on the allegations, the defendant allegedly took gasoline, poured it all over a house that housed children in it, and said he was going to burn the house down. The children were still inside. The police had to, the door was locked to where the children were. The police had to come in and retrieve the children from the locked door. So based on that and those allegations, I'm asking for a $50,000 cash or surety bond. If he does post that, I'm asking for a GPS tether, a no-go to that address where the children were at, 8813 Tamarack Lane. I'm asking for drug and alcohol testing. I'm asking for no contact with and I believe that's what we were asking for, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, during the middle of that, you raised your hand.
The kids were not at the house at the time of the incident. The police did not have to go.
Sir, again, you have the right
She's
to
wrong.
You have the right
The
to
kids
remain
left
silent.
to their grandmother's house. They were gone.
Okay, so please listen to what I'm telling you. I'm trying to protect your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You raised your hand, and I did not call on you because we don't interrupt people. We wait until the other person is done. You have an attorney here who is here to represent your rights. She is now going to make arguments regarding bond. After she's done, if you still have something you wish to say to me, then I'll check in with you, but we want to give her the opportunity to say what she needs to say on your behalf. Ms. Kleeman, you're welcome to proceed.
Thank you. And Mr. Conklin does live locally in Washtenaw County. He typically stays with his sister at the address that this allegedly took place at. So he does need to find another address while the case is pending. He does have a phone number that he can update the court with upon release. He's just not sure what it is by heart. Without getting too far into the facts of the case, my understanding from him is that he does struggle with severe PTSD. He represented to me that he was in the midst of an episode when this took place. I am going to try to refer him to a social worker with our office to see if we can help more in that regard. I do not have any information regarding whether he is on probation or parole, but I do not see any other holds on him.
Thank you. Sir, did your counsel cover what you wanted the court to know?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Ms. Blanche, was there anything else you had in response?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to set your bond conditions for you. I'm going to go through these. I want to make sure you understand them. If you violate a bond condition, you are subject to immediate arrest, and that can happen without a warrant. So we go through these to make sure you understand them. Your conditions are as follows. You're going to have standard supervision with our community corrections department. That's going to be for drug and alcohol testing. Within 24 business hours of your release from jail, you'll have to get to the community corrections department to begin that testing. You'll have to bring photo ID and $12. If you don't have photo ID when you are released from the jail, you can ask for a copy of your booking photo. Yes, you have a question?
No, never mind. That answered it. Thank you. I'll just wait. I'm sorry.
Did you have a question about that condition?
About the ID, the ID part. Never mind. No, you answered it.
No, ask your question. Ask your question. What's your question?
I was gonna say my ID got shipped to Oregon, but you answered it with the booking ID part. I'm sorry. I'll wait till the end next time.
You're fine. You're fine. All right. So that standard supervision, you'd have to get to our community corrections department within 24 business hours of your release from jail. They're at the complex where you are currently located, just across the parking lot. Next, you're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol, illegal drugs, or marijuana. You are not allowed to leave the state of Michigan without prior permission of the court. You are not to purchase or possess any firearms, ammunition, or dangerous weapons. You are not to assault, terrorize, frighten, intimidate, Do you understand your conditions so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you own any firearms?
What's that?
Do you own any firearms?
No, ma'am.
Next, you are to have no contact with when I say no contact, no direct or indirect contact with the above named individuals in person or through others. No telephone, email, texting, internet, social media, no Skype, no Zoom, no FaceTime, no contact means no contact, and you can't have other people be in touch with them on your behalf. Do you have a question regarding that?
Yes, I am currently employed. I am employed through them or for them. How does that work? I work for their company.
Is it a company that there are multiple people who work there? That
Yes.
you have other supervisors, or are they your supervisors?
My sister was my direct supervisor, but I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Okay, well, I'm actually quite confident that if you're going to be able to stay there, they'll figure that out. If they're comfortable with you still being employed there, I'm sure they'll find a way to make that work for you. But if they're not, then they'll let you know. Next, you are not to go to the address in question, Lane in Ypsilanti Township. You will have to have a GPS tether placed on you so that you cannot return to that address. That tether will not be placed until you have posted your bond and you are ready to leave jail. Do you understand?
Yeah. How much is the bond?
I didn't hear you. What was that?
How much is the bond?
I haven't gotten to the bond yet. We're still going through your bond conditions. We'll get to the bond in a moment. I don't want you going to any place of the children's school. So if the kids are in school, you're not going to any of their schools. If the children work, I don't want you going to their place of employment. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
You're not to violate any criminal law. You're required to appear for any and all court hearings and other places as directed by the court. If there's a change to your contact information, address, email, or telephone number, you are required to notify the court, and certainly you'll want to make the public defender aware as well. Don't violate any criminal laws. You have to appear at all of your court hearings and other places as directed by the court. All of your conditions exist whether you're in custody or out of custody. Do you understand your conditions?
Yes.
Thank you. Having heard the testimony of the Sheriff's Department and having read the information that's been presented to me, I'm concerned for the safety of the family involved here, and I'm concerned for the safety of the community at large. And again, children were involved in this as well. And because of that, I do believe that a cash bond is appropriate.
Go fuck yourself, then, bitch. Yeah.
Are you done?
Didn't do a goddamn fucking thing wrong.
Okay, so your bond is going to be $150,000
Yeah,
cash
take that
surety.
$150,000 and shove it up your fucking ass.
Thank you, sir. You're all set. You can let the jail staff know you're done. You're going to have to call because he's not going to move. But she needs to know he just spit all over, so she may have to wipe something down.
He spit all over
Whatever's in front of him, I couldn't tell.
Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna clean the room and then we'll resume.
I'm so sorry that you have to do that.
That's okay, no problem. Just give me 1 minute.